everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are going to be helping our situation, and we don't think we've enough silage there, so we're going to be doing something, as the title suggests, to try and help our fodder situation for the winter. And yes, it has a flat tire wrap. So we are going to be sowing fodder rape out on 23 acres of the fields we caught at the house, so not all the 3 fields we caught winter wheat in. So it's all part of our crop rotation, but we'll explain that later. But what we're sowing is the variety Gorilla forage rape. This video is kindly sponsored by whoelcrop. They have provided us with some of the seed. We actually have, as you can tell, there's a lot of seed there, but there's a few other things going on as well with cover crops that we're doing with them. But we're going with Gorilla rape. They suggested it to us, a new hybrid variety with good regrowth potential and good growing. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's what we're doing. So we have enough Gorilla rape to sow 23 acres. So we're sowing the first 2 fields, the quarry field and the field along the road, and then 6 acres ish
we're going to have beef for
top field. So yeah, it's all working into part of a crop rotation we're planning out. So we're using the trusted 35 in the spinner. We were planning on using the 6270 and the grass harrow. That's why the grass harrow is on. But we had 2 issues. One, we were missing the fine seed roller. But the second issue, we went out just to see what it's going to be like. Road disc the fields with the 99 and the harrow, the big disc harrow, on Friday. And we got rain Friday evening, so we couldn't get it sown. Saturday was wet, so it's Sunday now and we're getting it sown. But we went out just to see what this would do. And after he harrowed it, all it was doing was just pulling all the trash off the field. Because the disc harrow cut the roots out, it just pulled the trash. It wasn't going to work. But we tried it where it hadn't disked and it worked. It done a nice job just tilling the ground. But that's a story for another day why we'll need to do that. But anyways, back to the job at hand. So this is
super fine seed. That's why I said to you.
Yeah.
There's no way your other roller was going to work.
Yeah.
You have to have the right tools for the right job.
You need the fine roller. Yeah, that is fine.
That is fine seed.
That is fine seed. Yeah. But you'll fit all
basically the spreader shut off.
Yeah. So
it's leaking off.
Yeah. So the sowing rate for this is what I say was it 3.5
4 kilos to the head.
Yeah.
4 kilos to the acre.
4 kilos to the acre. So I think it's 3.5 to 4.6 kilos.
Yeah, anywhere in the
like that.
Anywhere in the 4 kilos is just
yeah. So we're going to try and sow that 4 kilos to the acre range, which with the spinner is how wide is your nail?
That's why it leaks.
Yeah.
That's the way I done it before, and it was a perfect job.
Yeah. We'll get them thrown in.
One at a time.
One bag at a time.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Because if you're going to go wrong, it's only going to be with one bag. I learned this the hard way.
Is it flowing over?
Is it flowing over?
There's a trickle. There are about 10 or 12 seeds flowing out of it there.
Why are you doing that? You saw it or I saw it?
Oh, you can saw it. I'll play the drone.
Why are you doing right, and then you can take over.
I thought you were sowing it all, no?
No, I ain't going off.
So that bag should sow the field along the road?
Yes.
Yeah.
We swap a bag and put a bag of leafy turnip and along the road, see how it does.
Then the field along the road?
Yeah, same thing.
If you want?
They're all forage now, they're not a plough down job.
Yeah, that's forage,
they're
yeah.
Forage now.
So you want to try a bag of
leafy turnip along the road?
Leafy turnip on the road?
With rape. Just to see, just to have a comparison close to home.
So if anyone wants to learn more about the variety of rape or any other varieties whoelcrop have, there'll be a link down in the description down below, you can find out more. So what we're going to do now, we'll go out to the field and we'll show you what's happening. It's coming! I'd say you're about 6 meters. This is the fun bit of using the old way of doing it, trying to figure out. So bro's gonna start following them around the field. Them lovely mug yards. So we're going with the flat roller because our Cambridge roller has a wee puncture and it's not at home. So yeah. So this is what we've done. So we gave a 1 cut of the disc harrow, and that was just to turn up the soil. So you can see when you get out, like there's lots of soil contact there and knocked over the trash. So the seed should make good contact with the soil and get it on with the roller. Then that just puts a nice finish on it. The next job we have to do is put slurry on it. So once we have the field shook and rolled, then we're going to go put pig slurry on it. We got in, as you've seen there, we got pig slurry in over while we're at our own silage and that, and we'll get pig slurry on it to give it the nutrients. So yeah, you can't, I know you can see seeds there, seed. Yeah, no, there seems to be a pretty good hit of seeds there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to work out. So we're sowing all of this field here. We're sowing the field along the road, and we're going to sow the top 6 acres of the top field, and this is all to work into our plans for our crop rotation going into next year. So how this actually come about was I messaged whoelcrop because we were working with them on the maize and all of that to see what they had in cover crops. Just because we were thinking of putting in a cover crop where we cut our winter barley in the video we made. We want to put something in there, try and give it a bit of a boost before we sowed in the next crop. And when we got in touch with them, then they started showing us all the different things they had, and it got us thinking about what was our best plans, trying to say, well, if we want to grow this here and grow that there, and what's the draw between here and there, and all of that. Like there's a lot goes into trying to figure out what your next rotation is going to be. And this is the start of our next rotation. So our plan now, if you want, we can do a separate video on our full crop rotation about where we want to go here, there and yonder and the reasons why. But just on what we're doing now, so what we're going with in this field here for next year, we're going to be putting in maize. Whether we go covered or uncovered or not, we don't know. We'll see when the time comes. We do still have some plastic over from this year and last year, so we do have plastic that we could get a fair sky of it in under plastic. But this field is going to go into maize. The field along the road will be going into pumpkins, hopefully all goes to plan. If it doesn't go into pumpkins, it'll probably go into maize. And then the 6 acres at the top of the field will be going into beet, and then the rest of that field will be going into winter barley. Hence we're only sowing 6 acres, we'll put up a pale in, and then the other side of the field, other end of the field, will be going for winter barley. So that's going to be the crop rotation at home. So reason for having the maize beside home is literally it's beside home, you throw it in the pit. It's very easy to get through back. Keep the forage crops close to home, shortens the draw, shortens the diesel usage on the drawing it back. But that's the plan. The reason we're doing it now on a Sunday is, as I said at the start, Eric went higher on Friday. We went to sow it Friday, it rained, the ground was too sticky, and it was going to stick to the roller. Saturday was wet, so today has dried off quite nicely. So once the clay doesn't stick to the roller, we're sound. If clay starts sticking to the roller, that means it's going to pick up the seeds with the clay and stick to the roller, and it just gets messy. But yeah, can hit the bag of seed he put in, get across 6 acres, which he reckons is about half of the field. So that means the field is about 12 acres. I don't know what's in it. There's just 34, 36 acres between the 3 fields. But anyways, let's see how it gets on. Yeah. How's it looking? Is it going down much? It's not at all. So that's the second round of the field there. No need for the steer at this job. You know, it would be quite handy to make sure we get a good covering, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We won't know until it comes up. So we think we have it set right. My father Phil thinks it's set right. So it's literally on the first notch open, and then we just gave it another little pry open with a screwdriver. Didn't think there was enough coming out. You can feel it, yeah. So yeah, but the way it's going to work out is 2 bags here, 1 bag in the top field, 1 bag in the other field. And that's its own 5 out and about. 1967 or whatever year it is. and she's still out and about. Still has a place in a modern fleet in 2022. Anyways, yeah, hopefully now. The hardest thing, I done 2 runs there while Father Phil had a check. The hardest thing is trying to see where you've been and where you're going, just to like get it all covered. That's quite hard at the minute now. It's not here to be afraid of. So other reasons, not alone are we doing this because of we might be short on fodder, we need to put something in, but there's new rules after coming in. I'm not over familiar on them, but I intend on reading up a bit more on them and having a better idea for one of the next videos I do, where we'll be putting in another cover crop. But there's, to my understanding, there's new rules for tillage farmers that I said within 7 days of cutting the crop, you're supposed to have the crop harrowed to encourage a regrowth of whatever. It's just this new thing. I think it's to do with that, like if we never harrowed the field, that field would stay fairly much the same as that till we touched it in the spring. And what they want to do is you harrow the ground, that encourages new seeds, a new flush of weeds or dirt or whatever to grow, and then that takes nutrients out of the soil and stops it, some nutrients being washed off the land over the course of the winter. And I think that is what the purpose of it is. I am going to read up on it, because one of the things that sparked this off is we were aware of this rule, and we didn't want to just go harrowing for the sake of harrowing to do it. We wanted to get value out of it, and a value you get in a cover crop, whether it's for feeding cattle or whether it's putting in a crop that's going to fix nitrogen over the winter. So that's what prompted us to ask whoelcrop about what they had on offer, and these were some of the things that they told us. And well, it kind of suits us now to be sowing the rape at home, or the fodder rape at home, because we probably will end up needing it. But hopefully there's a lot of things to if it's a dry winter it's good, if it's a wet winter it's a mess. But yeah, so yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it. Eric is on his about a 4th round of the field, so it is going to take him quite some time. Father Phil is over halfway. He's well over halfway. He's about a 1/3 of the field left to do now, so it won't take him much longer. I currently have the handiest job of everybody. I just keep moving the gator up to where his last run is, so then when he turns around he knows where I was, and then I can drive up again, and when he's coming back then it just gives a better idea of where the last run in, because like just looking out there, can you even tell that that's where it was driven that way? No. Very, very hard at the minute. Be interesting to see what it comes up like. Yeah. I'll go back over that field again.
You're always stuck in my head, you know I can't forget it. I try to move on, but you're the one that I dream about. I sit alone in my room, drawing up pictures of blue skies. We've been apart for so long, I'm always replaying all the pictures and memories stacked up in my head. I wish I could let you go, I wish I could just forget you.
So we're up on the top field now, just starting to sow. So we have our bag of grass, our fodder rape in. So we're just going to keep going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and the bag runs out, and then that roughly should be 6 acres in. So that's the plan. Now this whole field is harrowed. While we're only putting in 6 acres of 17 or 18 acres in this field. Part of that scheme I was on about, we have to hire another bit to encourage green growth, so we're not going to bother planting up there, as this will go back into winter barley whenever, sometime in probably middle or end of September or into October, I'd say. exactly when we get that done, but yeah. One thing, you're going off hearing the seed coming out, not that you can see it. You just cannot see the seeds coming out. So it does make it a wee bit difficult to navigate. But anyway. Keep ripping away at this and get this sown. That's it sown, all empty. So, about 23 acres in there now. So Bro has one field done, he's over halfway. So he's on the field along the road, then he has to come up into this one, get that roll. The next thing with this is tomorrow morning, before we head off at other people's slurry, we'll go, oh he's actually still out there. He's knocking on as well as the top. First job in the morning though is to get some pig slurry splashed out on this, give them seeds a bit of feeding and a bit of a push on, so we can get a good crop for feeding our cattle later on in the winter. So it is. We'll go put this back in the shed. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Ro's a bit ahead of him, yeah. Day number 2, and we're going to put out the slurry. So I need to swap over the splash plate. Camera that sits somewhere. So we're swapped over to our easy splash plate. So the reason we're going to splash this and not dribble it is because we want total seed coverage. If I let it out through the dribble bar, because it'll be in lines across the field, only the seeds either on the side or on top of that slurry will get the benefit from it until that either got washed in or whatever. Because the crop is so young and so small, we want full coverage of the land with slurry, so that way every seed's going to get the nutrients from the slurry to get a good start. Otherwise you'll have stripes in the field where the seeds nearest it got going great, and then the seeds furthest from it had to grow a bit before the roots could get those nutrients. That's why we're splashing. So Fodder Phil is spreading away out there at the minute. I'm getting my first load. So we'll be putting it out about 1,000 to 1,500 gallons to the acre. So we're sparing it because we want to try and cover as much ground as we can with this for taking up more silage hopefully later on, and for grazing ground to make sure that we keep grass ahead of our livestock, because we don't want to spread any more artificial fertilizer. We spread that at the start of the year, we don't want to spread any more. So if we can at all, replace with slurry. So we have, I think there's about 8 loads, 8 6s is what, 54,000 gallons of slurry here and in the store. I already spread 10,000 of that on the silage field. We still have the silage shed up there, still has slurry in it, and I emptied the silage shed and out farm the other day. So we're getting low on slurry. But anyways, I'm nearly full there. So yeah, we'll go get some slurry spreading away here. Grand. Serious weight off that splash plate. So yeah, slurry's going on.
Stuck in my head, you know I can't forget it. I try to move on, but you're the one that I dream about. I sit alone in my room, drawing up pictures of blue skies. We've been apart for so long, I'm always replaying all the pictures and memories stacked up in my head. I wish I could let you go, I wish I could just forget you. I can never shake you off. You're stickier than my super glue. I can never shake you off. I'm always trying to get rid of you.
now, to finish the video, we are out here on the field 6 days after sowing. And yes, there's a lot of crows there. Father Phil says they're not attacking the crop or the rape, so we'll take it as word. But we have a pretty good hit of them. So you can see them. This is 6 days of growth since sowing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another one. You can see them. There's lots at the minute, and there's even some still coming up there. So there is lots in it. You can see them, little 2 leaves. So that's what 6 days of growth is like on the gorilla rape. So yeah, so why are we sowing them? So we're sowing it to feed cattle. So the purpose of this, and what we'll probably end up doing, what we will end up doing, is this fodder crops like this over the winter. You put cattle out on it and then you strip graze it. So we'll have to put out wires here, and you keep giving them strips of it. And we also have to buffer feed them silage with the rape, so they have to get some silage. Now some people place bales throughout the field so that every time they move the fence you open a bale. We done that a few years ago. Did not work because the cattle would break out every now and again, bust the bales ahead of them. It was messy. In a dry winter, what we're doing here will work perfect. If it's a wet winter, it gets very, very mucky very quickly. It's not very nice when a wet winter. Dry winter, it's perfect. Wet winter, it's dodgy now. It's dodgy. We are debating, because the shed is just there, we are debating whether we might have them coming in and out of the shed as they please, or whether we shut them out of it fully. We haven't decided on that yet. One of the other things with this variety, one of its key attributes is a good regrowth. So if we can run a backing fence with the cattle, then we should see what they have eaten should regrow, and we should get another graze now have. So we'll have a lot of things to plan out, but that's the purpose of this, is to keep cattle out, give them something else to eat. We will have to feed them some silage, but we won't have to feed them as much silage as if they were in the shed, and therefore that saves us fodder. And that's the purpose of doing this. How much fodder will it save? I don't know. It'll save us some. We have done it before and it worked out not too bad, but as soon as the weather turns wet, it gets very, very mucky. It's not nice when it gets wet, but if it's a dry winter, it's a great way of keeping cattle out and keeping cattle outside, and they stay quite healthy on it. We've all that to look forward to later on. We'll show you how the crop grows, and it'll probably, we'll see how this crop does, but the cattle will be coming into the sheds in November time, probably end of October, November. So this won't be grazed till end of October, beginning of November. That's when cattle will hit this, and we'll see how it goes from there. So anyways, we're going to leave it at that for today's video. Big thanks to whoelcrop. If you want to find out more about the variety of rape that we're after sowing, you can check it out in the description down below. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Good luck.